there is bills receivable, then again there is one question raised in your mind, that how much credit facility I'm providing, the manufacturer is providing, allowing to the customers, and I'm also enjoying the credit facilities. Why? Because I purchase the raw materials on credit basis from the suppliers. I purchased the log of wood from the supplier on credit basis. So I also enjoyed the credit facilities. And with that log of wood I have converted into chair, in furnitures. And that furniture I sold to the customers on credit basis. That is, I am also allowing credit facilities to the customers. So when the receivables and payable comes, then credit facilities allowed to customers, that is debtors, that is bills received, accounts receivables, you can say. Account receivables means debtors and bills receivable, as well as again credit facilities enjoyed or allowed by the suppliers, that is creditors, that is accounts payable. So see, this is the operating cycle. In this operating cycle, to convert cash into cash, it takes time. To convert cash into raw materials, it takes time, 1 month. To raw materials to work in process, it takes time, 1 month. To convert raw materials into finished goods, again it takes time, that is finished goods in stock. One month. Again, finished goods manufactured, sold, maybe 10% on cash and rest of them on credit basis. So credit facilities allowed to the customers and credit facilities allowed by the suppliers. Here it is bills payable and here it is bills receivable. Receivables, that is I'm allowing credit facilities to the customer, so there is bills receivable. Clear? So some of this one is finished goods directly sold, but some of them on credit basis, so there is receivables. So this is your credit, this is your operating cycle. It means what? It means now if I say you, that is finished goods and receivables. It means there are, now if anyone will ask you, what are the factors essential to prepare working capital requirement, estimation of working capital requirement? So the first factor is the cash. Cash is required to start the business, to prepare, to estimate the working capital requirement. What else? The raw materials. If the raw materials, then we have to have the idea that how much period of raw materials you want to keep it in stock, that is raw material in stock. What else? After that, we have to take into consideration the work in process, that how much time period required to convert the raw materials into finished goods, that is processing time, maybe 1 month. This also is mandatory at the time of estimation of working capital requirement. What else? After processing, the finished goods been prepared, but not in a position to sell, because some of the products, some of the finished goods you want to sell on credit basis also. So that finished goods you want to keep it in stock. How much period? Maybe 1 month. So this also is important at the time of estimation of working capital. What else? When you sell the goods, then there is need of receivables, that how much credit facilities you are providing to the customers from whom you will receive the money. At the same time, your credit facilities allowed by the suppliers from whom you purchase the raw materials. After considering all these factors, you can easily estimate that how much working capital is required for the organization. And these are the factors also to be considered at the time of working capital requirements. Now, there are two types of working capital. One is permanent working capital and one is temporary working capital. What is permanent working capital? This line, below this line and above this line, what you find? This line is parallel to x-axis. It means the capital which remains the same throughout the life of the asset, which never convert into cash for the whole life of the asset, for the whole life of the business. It means your money is, your capital is blocked in the form of the product which is lying in the grocery shop. They replace the old one with the new one. But the grocery shop, the whole of the grocery shops, the shelves remains full. So the amount which is blocked and never converts into cash, and that capital is known as permanent working capital. And one is temporary working capital, which converts every day, which the goods which we sell tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and after 5 days or 10 days, that capital which is converting frequently, that type of working capital is called temporary working capital. That increase or decrease as the volume of output increases. If you need more stock, you need more working capital. If you need less stock, there is need of less working capital. So below this line, this is called permanent working capital, and this is called temporary working capital. See this wave-like structure. When the stock is increasing, working capital will increase. When the current assets increases, working capital will increase. When the current assets decreases, working capital will decrease. Now again, there are two types again working capital. One is gross working capital, one is net working capital. One is gross and one is net working capital. What is gross working capital? The total current asset of the business is known as gross working capital. Without deducting the current liabilities from the current asset, the total current asset is also known as gross working capital. And what about net working capital? When you deduct the current liabilities from the current asset, that is called excess of current asset over current liabilities, that is called net working capital. In the book you find working capital, whatever the working capital written in the book, that is called net working capital, not the gross working capital. So this current asset minus current liabilities is net, but this is total current asset without deducting current liabilities is gross working capital. Is that clear? So this is what I discussed right now, that is working capital. What is working capital? Working capital being segregated in two parts, that is gross working capital and net working capital. Now I just want to use the bilingual right now so that the other students, some students could easily understand. वर्किंग कैपिटल वो कैपिटल होता है जो प्रत्येक दिन के खर्चे को वहन करने वाला होता है। वर्किंग कैपिटल को हम लोग दो भाग में बांटते हैं, ग्रॉस और नेट वर्किंग कैपिटल। जब करंट लायबिलिटीज को करंट एसेट से नहीं घटाते हैं तो जो टोटल करंट एसेट होता है उसको हम ग्रॉस वर्किंग कैपिटल कहते हैं। जब हम करंट लायबिलिटीज को करंट एसेट से घटा देते हैं तब जो करंट वर्किंग कैपिटल होता है उसको हम नेट वर्किंग कैपिटल, लाइक यहां जब 2 रुपया है करंट एसेट, ये ग्रॉस वर्किंग कैपिटल हो गया। जब करंट लायबिलिटीज हमने 1 रुपया घटा दिया, जो 1 रुपया हुआ ये नेट वर्किंग कैपिटल हो गया। परमानेंट वर्किंग कैपिटल और टेम्पररी वर्किंग कैपिटल, अगर हम किसी दुकान जाएं तो दुकान के शेल्फ में हम पाउडर, क्रीम और ग्रोसरीज वगैरह देखते हैं, वो शेल्फ उस दुकान का शेल्फ कभी खाली नहीं रहता है। फर्क पड़ता है जो पुराने स्टॉक को रिप्लेस करके नए स्टॉक को डाल देता है, लेकिन दुकान हमेशा भरी हुई रहती है और वो तब तक भरी रहती है जब तक वो दुकान जिंदा रहता है। इसका मतलब वो पैसे जो कैपिटल उसमें इन्वॉल्व है वो कभी भी कैश में कन्वर्ट नहीं होता है। इसका मतलब वो अगर दुकान में लगा हुआ वो लागत अगर 5 करोड़ है तो 5 करोड़ नहीं कैश में कन्वर्ट होगा।